In this webinar, I really want to discuss how we can begin to assemble, organize, and display the content that we have for our Blackboard courses. And I just want to direct this at primarily at people who have been teaching in the face-to-face environment and who may have, fairly little experience with Blackboard. And it really comes down to the two fundamental ways that we can use Blackboard to display our content. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen here. Okay. And I'm going to go into a course that I've created for this workshop. I've titled this course ONG-content.org. Can everyone see this okay too? Would someone be so kind? Okay, great. Thank you. I could hear you. All right. So this is our little Blackboard shelf for this webinar. Just want to do a couple of quick tips for you. If it doesn't look like this, if you get into your course and it doesn't look like this, if it's something like this, then don't fret. Just hit this little downward arrow and then it reappears. See, there it is. There it's gone. There it is. All right. Another thing that gets people a lot is the edit mode. In your top right corner, there's an edit mode button. If that is turned off, then you can see that my plus sign has disappeared and I won't be able to make any changes. Okay. So make sure edit mode is on whenever you're going to make those changes. And another one, a big one, especially for people using laptops, is this one here. See that? The navigation panel is disappeared. There it is. Gone. And there it is. So hit that arrow there. That one's a doozy. I'll tell you that. All right. So anyway, I've kind of customized this navigation panel here. And I want to make it look a little bit better. So let's just take about 60 to 90 seconds really quick and make this into something a little bit more visually appealing, let's say. So bear with me real quick. You might have recognized these steps from the Blackboard Basics workshop. I'm going to start with some dividers. Okay. You can see how quickly you can do this. And the more you see this, the better, because you're going to start doing this in your own courses. Let's see here. How about we do that and drag this one up here. Just make one more. Let's do that there. Let's give it a couple subheaders. Oh, wrong computer. There. Let's drag this one up here. And let's do a couple more, about 45 seconds. All right, it's on the bottom there. Let me drag this thing up here. Okay. And let's do a couple more. Title this policies. Submit. And finally, to finish off our nav panel, one more subheader, technical support. All right, kind of a little review from Blackboard Basics. All right, if I put my mouse over this Blackboard Help button, which is a very helpful link, if students click on it, it launches Blackboard Help. If I go to this arrow here, and then I set link to open, right now it's set to open in the current window, but if I set this link to open in a new window, then when the students click on it, it will open up another tab and they won't be taken away from their Blackboard course. So it's just a quick helpful tip. All right, so let's jump in. Welcome and start here. This is a content area. These content areas live on the navigation panel. When I click on the content area, I'm taken to what's inside of the content area. And inside here, I have the most basic, straightforward organization tool within Blackboard, and that's the boring yellow content folder. All right, so I got a couple of images in here to highlight that the essence of this workshop. Sorry, did someone say something? Oh, okay. So yeah, the essence of this workshop is organization. This is what we're trying to avoid. You know, all these wonderful tools and things piled up, but no organized. We're kind of trying to go for something more like this. everything in our Blackboard course is really a reflection of how we think and how we organize things. Everything should have a rationale, reason, and it also looks nice too. Okay, so again, this is the content folder. So let's just start by talking about content folders and make sure that you all are comfortable building these out. Again, here in this content folders content area, I have a few folders here to show you. And this is the title of this folder here, which you can customize. And you'll see here that throughout this workshop, I have a few sprinkles of instructional design stuff. And by that, I mean, you'll see a lot of course learning outcomes that are listed here. And I pay attention to do numbered lists whenever possible. And the reason why I'd like to do numbered lists is because I'm mindful of accessibility. All right. So if a student is using a technology tool like a screen reader, the screen reader will be able to decipher the numbered list. So when it's reading back the content, it will say number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. All right. So yeah, you're going to see some of these modular learning objectives. Here you go. I have some following activities listed again. Now inside a content folder, it's just an area to put more stuff. And inside this particular content folder, I have a variety of different things. This thing is an item. Blackboard is able to tell us this is an item because of this picture here. It's like a piece of paper with that little blue square. That's an item. This is a web link with the globe in front of the paper. Okay, by web link, it's just something I click on to take me to a website. Here's another item, but this item has a document attached to it. Okay, so you could create an item, attach whatever you need, a document, a PowerPoint, a file, whatever it is. And this is a Blackboard tool called the discussion board. And you can see this is kind of the little thumbtack with the piece of paper there. So again, the content folder is the most basic way that we can structure our courses. And it's also a very effective way to do it. You can see here, many folks decide to organize their course using weekly content folders. So I just want to go ahead. You can see I've built out week 1 and week 2, and then there's some dates under here, maybe some topics, but just so you know, let's go ahead and just build a couple more together. Let's just keep going with week 3. Okay, here you can put some dates. Let's see here, 4/1/20, whatever. All right, and then hit submit. You have just created your content folder here, week 3. All right, if I wanted to go back in and edit some of this information, I hit this arrow here and I go back in and I'm editing. Okay, I'm back into here. I wanted to put some brackets in front of that. All right. And again, here's where you could put some modular learning objectives. And I can use my tools here. Remember toolbars here. Here's a numbered list tool. Okay, things like that. All right, so there's week 3. Let's just do one more really quick. Week 4. All right, so you could easily do this for each week, for each module, for each unit, lesson, whatever it is.
What's the difference between a content folder and an item folder?
Okay. So let's say you have a content folder, like let's say we have week 4, and inside this week, we want to make an item, and that item is, let's say, a PowerPoint. So I go to build content, and you can see I have the ability to create an item here. Okay, so if I do that, this item can live inside our content folder. Let's just put PowerPoint module 4, because I know I have that somewhere on my computer. If I scroll down when I'm in the item, I have these other options. I can attach a file by browsing my computer. And let's see here. I believe I have a PowerPoint. Here's a PowerPoint. I browse my computer. I've selected my PowerPoint. Blackboard puts it in this little space here. And then I hit submit. And you can see I've now placed this item, remember the paper with the blue square, within my week 4 content folder. So let's hop back out. So we made our week 4 folder, and inside this folder, we created an item, and to that item, we've attached this PowerPoint. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just thought you could just build item folders and title them and it'd be the same kind of thing, but I guess not. So item folders are inside content folders.
Yes, but I would probably suggest that you don't call them item folders. I mean, you could call them that if you want, but it's really not an item folder. Uh, Item is basically a page that you can attach something to.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
under build content, here's where we're going to find that content folder.
Okay.
All right. So a couple of other examples of how we can populate content folders. I'm going to go down here to this Turnitin Resources. You can see this is a content area, and within this content area, I have several things. This is that web link again. Here's a content folder that I've assembled directly um, for the peer mark feature of Turnitin, right? Turnitin is something that we use for plagiarism and paper assignments and also peer review assignments, but it also has a learning curve associated with it. So for that reason, I like to assemble a variety of resources for students to access this so they can find out answers to their own questions. So within this folder, I just have assembled a variety of web links that will take the student to a specific page that's all neatly curated for them. Okay, and these are all web resources that I've taken from the actual manufacturer's site. Okay, and going back, again, here's another folder. This is web links associated with submitting a paper. So you can start to see kind of how my brain thinks about these things and how I really want to organize things. Because if I make a content area dedicated to Turnitin Resources, the student can go here, and of course they can find a question that they would otherwise be sending me an email for at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. So there's another example for you. Here's an online course FAQ. This is a content area. And here is, again, another content folder filled with these FAQ questions. And I would highly recommend that you all build an FAQ folder that's directly related to your course. And you are also more than welcome to have this one. I can send these over to you along with a couple other content areas, and you can customize this for yourself if this is what you want. For example, if you wanted to make this specific to your course, I could go into this course schedule and important dates. I could edit it. And then once I'm in the edit function, I can go ahead and make adjustments here. So I could change whatever days it is and put important dates here. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. I am going to put my link, my website or my email address in the chat box for you. Let me go ahead and do that now before I forget. Let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so the email is ron.friedman@csusb.edu, and that's FRIEDMAN. Okay, let's get back over to our screen. All right, the other two areas that I'm happy to share with you are these policy sections. These are content areas that the instructional design team has assembled for you, and it's very important links for all of the things that students have access to, free software, all of the library guides and resource collections from the John Fowle Library, maps and so forth, and also this one here, student services with disabilities. So those three content areas will already bolster the quality and the accessibility of your course. All right. So we talked about it earlier that there's two fundamental ways to distribute and organize content. The other one, other than content folders, is called the learning module. So here's the learning module setup. All right, I want to show you an example of something. See this module 2? This is the icon that Blackboard distinguishes a learning module from. So this paper with these 3 tabs. And think about the learning module as a linear display of information, or perhaps like you're turning pages in a book from page 1 to page 2 to 3, from 3 to 2, and so forth. Okay, so it's a valuable tool, especially for online learning, because you can begin to structure your content and present it in a fashion that kind of takes the student along a journey. And I want to show you what this would look like from the student perspective. So I'm going to go up here to the eye in the sky, this little button here. This is going to take me to student preview. So now everything we're seeing is from the perspective of the student. I'm going to go to learning modules, and let's click on module 2 here. And you can see I'm presented with this layout here. There's a table of contents on the left representing the pages. And then you can see this is a 9-page module. So let's just go ahead and flip through them. And I've put this content in here. I've formatted nicely with headings and different fonts and, try to make it look consistent. All right. And you're not limited to just text. You can put pictures. Here's a little image here. Okay. Here's another image here. Below that is a link for the resource for this. Okay, here is a video that we've embedded into this module page. So you get the idea. So you can basically chunk out content and distribute it over this module, and you have options on whether or not the student is going to be forced to go sequentially through the pages if that's something that you need to do, or if they can just kind of navigate through the table of contents and jump here and there. All right, so that's the real difference between learning modules and content folders. And if you'd like, I can show you how I built this module folder here last week. I built this together in about 20 minutes. Is that something you're all interested in seeing?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so in this instructional design module, I didn't make all this content. I'm not a faculty member. I didn't have all this, and I just wanted to put it together real quick. But one of the most valuable resources that I have, not only as a designer, but as an instructor, right? I have all kinds of online educational resources, and one of the best ones that I have, my go-to, is the Merlot. Okay, if you don't have this or not familiar with this, please bookmark it. It's wonderful. Merlot.org. All right, just like the drink that many of us love. All right, so I went to my Merlot page and I logged in, and I just searched under this database for connectivism. And that's really what Merlot is. It's a huge database of high quality, many of them are peer-reviewed materials, everything from humanities to the sciences, where you can find content that is completely open, Creative Commons, available to us to use in our courses in a manner of different ways. And by Creative Commons, if you see here, this is what I mean. This is all online educational resources where we're free to copy and redistribute. We can remix, transform, build upon the material for any purpose, in this case, even commercially. All right. So it's a wonderful resource. I can share a couple of more that I have with you, but if you're trying to put together instructional blocks of content, please get familiar with OER's, online educational resources, and you can find some wonderful content in a pinch. Okay. So again, I went to Go Material, and this is what I was presented with. All right, I was presented with this page, and it kind of looks familiar to you because I copied and pasted a lot of this into my module. So I want to show you how I do that for a few pages. All right, so here we go. I want to build a learning module. Here, let's get started with build content. About the middle down in the first column here, you can see I'm going to select learning module. I'm going to give this a name. All right, I can do some text here, some modular learning objectives. I like to put the copyright symbol, the Creative Commons, and give credit to the author of any content that I'm taking right up here up front. Let me move my Zoom window here. Okay, hit submit. All right, I want to show you a couple other settings in there. So I'm going to go back and edit, giving it a title. And here's where you have a couple of options that will drastically change the user experience. Here's that enforced sequential viewing of the learning module. The default setting is no, but if you needed it for your pedagogy, for them to have to progress in a very strict manner, you would select yes here, and then that would eliminate that table of contents and simply allow them to go from page 1 to page 2 to page 3. All right, so now we have just created our learning module and given it a title. If I click on there, I'm taken to this empty area. It's time to add content. Use the functions above to add it. So I'm going to start adding content by building items. Build content, create item. Now that this is open, I'm going to go back to my wonderful resource over here. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this theoretical concept section. So I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back to my course. And I'm going to paste it in this box. I'm going to give this a title. I'm just going to call this theory. Okay. And now I have to make a few changes because I want to make this accessible and I wanted to make it look good. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this formatting. I'm going to highlight all of this stuff. And then I'm going to use my toolbar here. On the very right of the top bar, there's this symbol, this button, and this is to remove formatting. When I click on that, you can see it takes away all the formatting that was on there and it just reduces it to the plain text. So now I can make it the way I like it. I'm going to start by highlighting this and I'm going to make this into a heading. Okay, and then I'm going to bring these a little bit closer together. And then this is a little too small for me, so I'm going to make this 14-point font. And finally, I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm going to make it look a little prettier by choosing the Times New Roman font. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to hit submit. And now what we've done is we've created the first item within our learning module, and this translates to page 1. Let's do it again. Build content, item. Now that my item's open, I'm going to go back to my resource. Let's go ahead and take this next section here. All right, the backward instructional design model. There you go. Okay, I copied that. Back over here, I'm going to paste this in here. Let's go ahead and give this a title. All right, first thing I want to do is remove all the formatting. Let's go ahead and remove that there. Okay, I'm going to make this a heading. And then I want to make this here a subheading. Right, like that. Okay, let's actually bring that up a little bit and then make it a heading, subheading. All right, and finally, let's make this Times New Roman. Oh, that's a little small, so let's do the 14-point again. 14-point, 14-point. There we go. Very nice. Hit submit.
What's the heading thing do anyway?
So when you
just making it bold or whatever.
Yeah, so exactly. It makes it bolder and it changes the font size, but it's also a format note. And by that, I mean a screen reader, when it reads back information to, let's say, a visually impaired student, it will announce the headings, right? So the student who's listening to it will be able to visualize in their head, in their mind's eye, that, this is a title, the heading, a subheading. They'll know the numbered lists, so they can basically recreate this structure in their mind. All right. Otherwise, it just kind of reads as a constant sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So I want to show you how we can insert images and also insert videos. And then we're going to go on and see how we can further customize this by inserting activities like discussion boards and assignments. Again, let's go ahead and create an item. And now that this is open, let's jump back over to our resource here. And let's take this section here with this nice big image. So first, let's grab this content, this text part. Let's paste that in there. Okay. Let's fix this up first. All right, I'm going to do this heading business again. And let's just make this closer together. And let's go ahead and increase the font size of this because 12 is just too small for my eyes. All right, so now we have the top part. Let's jump back over. Now we want to get this image. So I can right click on this image and I can save image as, and then it downloads to my computer. Okay, I've already done that a couple of times. So just imagine you did that. And now I want the image right in here. So how do I put it there? Well, I use my toolbar here and there's 3 rows. If there isn't 3 rows, don't worry. It's just this 2 little arrows here, right? It's minimized there. I click on those, I get everything. All right, this button right here allows me to insert an image. When I click on that, I'm taken to this window and I can browse my computer, and then I have my image right here. I'm going to click and open that. I'm going to give this an image description. Again, mindful of accessibility. All right, and now I've inserted this image here. See that? Except I want it to be centered. So I put my cursor there, and then I'm going to use my alignment buttons here to align center. There it is. All right, and I think we're just missing the web link. So let's go back over here and grab that web link. Here it is. Just going to go ahead and copy that and jump back over to my item where I'm working. And I'm going to paste that in there just like that and then hit submit. Oh, we forgot to give it a name. Let's go ahead and give this a name. 21st century. Okay, so what have we done now? We built the first item, the second item, and here's our third item. Okay, and we've inserted an image along with the link to that image and page. All right, let's do the same thing for a video this time because the video requires a couple of extra steps. So build content, we're going to do this as an item once again. All right, I'm going to jump back over here. And this time we want to put this YouTube video into our learning module. And in order to do that, we're going to do something called embedding. We're going to embed the video into the item space. But in order to do that, we need some special information. And that information is called the embed code. It's also referred to as HTML. So how do we get that HTML? Well, we get it from YouTube. So I'm going to click on the video, and then I'm going to click on this YouTube thing here. That opens up the actual YouTube app. Now, once I'm in YouTube, I have this magical share option. I click on that share option and I have all these pretty colors, but I want this one on the end. It's called Embed. This offers the embedded HTML code. I'm going to copy that. It turns blue. So now it's copied. I have it in my pocket. And then I'm going to jump back over to my item. Now in this content area, I have to select this button here. This is HTML code view. When I click on this, I'm presented with this window, and I'm going to go ahead and copy what I had in my pocket, the embed code from YouTube. And then I'm going to select update. Now I have this normal looking yellow square. I want it in the center. So again, I'm going to go to my align center. You know, why not make it look good? And then I'm going to hit submit. Oh, I forget to put a name on it. Let's just call this video. Submit. Okay, so now we have created our learning module page, but we've put a video right in the middle of this. And you can do this with anything from YouTube.
Can you do that really quick one more time?
Absolutely, let's do it. Okay, so you can embed a video into an item, into a learning module by accessing build content and then selecting item. Okay, now that this item page is open, let's go ahead and grab a video somewhere. Okay, let's see here. How about some grow your glutes at home? Let's try this one. All right. So I have access to this video, whatever video you want. And in the share function here, I have all these options. I want this option, embed. All right. Now I can copy my embed code. Okay. Now I copied my embed code, and now I'm going back over to my item in the course. I'm in this content editor here, and I need to select this button here, the HTML code view. Now I'm going to go ahead and paste what I had copied. There it is. And I'm going to select update. I get the normal yellow square. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the middle. I'm going to give this a title, video 2, grow your glutes at home, and hit submit. everything gets putting on the bottom. So here we go. Here's our first video, and here's our second one that we just did. And it's nice. It's a smooth way of putting things together because now the student can learn directly in the learning module within Blackboard. They don't have to click on a link and then get taken to an external site, whether it's the video or a library site or PBS or whatever the video is. You know, it can live right here. So let's just go ahead and take a look. Eye in the sky. I'm going to go to learning modules. This is the learning module we had just created. And again, here you see our table of contents, blah, 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 2 of our videos. So now we want to make it our own a little bit more, and we want to insert an activity in here. Let's say we want to insert a reflection journal activity after this page. So I'm going to exit this preview. And I'm going to go back into the learning module. And this time I want to, we wanted to put a reflection journal, and a reflection journal is considered a tool in Blackboard. Okay. Under the tools menu, you can see I have all these options: discussion board, blogs, journals, wikis, whatever the heck all of these are. I don't know. But I'm just going to go ahead and select journals. Now you can see that I've already created a reflection journal. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to hit submit. And now we've just added that activity page to the end of this module. You can do the same with quizzes, with tests, with any of the tools, discussion boards that are available to us in Blackboard. Okay, I have a question from, let's see, first from Professor Smith. Do you recommend using an item for every additional page, for example, to put in the video? Why not select the video option instead of the item? It's actually just personal preference. You can select the video option instead of the item, but I like to do the item way because then they actually watch it and they press play from within the item. Whereas the other way, you click on it and it opens up either an external player or another window. So that's the answer to that question. But it's really not a recommendation. It's just a matter of personal preference. And really, after today, if you see the both ways that we can build things in Blackboard, it really comes down to a personal decision that you make, and that has to work for you and your style. And it might be content folders, it might be learning modules, it might be a combination of both, and oftentimes it is. All right, Professor Wolf has said, can you add PowerPoints in the module or a Voicethread activity? Absolutely. So let's go ahead. We're in our module now. Let's just go ahead and add a couple PowerPoints. So again, I'm going to go ahead and build content. I'm going to just do this as an item. Okay, let's just call this PPT. And then I can give it some instructions. And here again, I can browse my computer. I can choose my PPT, open it. There it is. All right, I can hit submit. And again, at the bottom, here is our PPT. So it would come after this reflection. If I wanted to rearrange things, I can do so by dragging, just like that. All right. If I wanted to put this reflection way up at the very top and I was feeling a little bit lazy, I could come up here to these arrows and just go like this and then hit submit, and then it will reorder it that way too. All right. So if you have a very long learning module, it's kind of hard to drag if you don't have screen space. Now you can do it that way too. All right. So Professor Wolf had asked if we can attach PowerPoints, so we did that. I want to show you a couple other nifty ways to attach things. All right, so if I go to build content and I select file, I can do a unique thing. By selecting file, I'm going to title this syllabus because I know I have one on my computer somewhere. Okay. And I browse my computer. Now I can select a PDF. Okay, this will only work if it's a PDF. It has to be a PDF. It won't work if it's not a PDF. All right, I attached my PDF there, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to hit submit. It's on the very bottom, remember? So I'm going to hit these arrows and I'm going to go grab that, and I'm going to put it all the way up here, hit submit. So now here it is. Okay, so see this? This is a file. This is the indicator for a file. But here's what's cool about this. It's titled syllabus, click to view. So I'm just going to click on it. And now Blackboard opens up this cool PDF viewer where I can look at this content. This happens to be a visually enhanced syllabi. I love this syllabus. It's really pretty. But, you know, it's really nice because in the PDF viewer, you have all these options to, you know, increase size, make full screen. And it's a great thing to do, especially for things like slides or syllabus or anything like that, because the student doesn't have to download it and to their drive every single time they click on it. They still have the option, of course, to download, but they don't have to.
What was that tool again? Which one was it?
So
Under
this is called a file, and it's different from what we would normally use as an item. So let me show you that again. So build content, file. And remember, it has to be a PDF. All right, really cool way to do things. So if I wanted to put in my syllabus section, let's say I attached an item with my syllabus for download. Okay, and then I went down here and I found a syllabus for download. Let's see a document somewhere. I don't know what this is. There we go. Let's just do it that way. So here's the item. The student has to click on this and then it will download into their computer. But if I also want to give them the option to just click on it and view it, I do it as a file. And then again, syllabus, click to view, browse my computer, find the PDF version of it, click open there, submit. And now I have two syllabus for them. They have one that they can download and one that they can simply click on and view. And this can be done in a variety of different ways. And let me show you another way that this can be done. So I'm going to jump over here really quick. This is a community page that we have set up for our e-learning academy, which is all of these wonderful faculty members who have decided to take on the task of designing a high quality online course for all of these courses that are bottlenecked. They're highly impacted courses, and we have a lot of DWFIs in these courses. So we basically get together for a year or two. We have workshops and we argue some more and argue more after that. But at the end of the day, we design some really nice courses. But anyway, in this content area here, I want to show you, in this content folder, I have an entire ebook. Now here's that click to view thing again. So what I've done, I found an ebook, a great ebook. It's 384 pages. It doesn't matter how long it is, how short it is, but you can see within that content folder, I have my entire book here. So if you're trying to move away from the $200+ textbook and you're trying to use, you know, affordable learning solutions and all that good stuff, then you can find an ebook, get it as a PDF, and you can upload it as a file into your Blackboard course. Okay. Are there any questions or comments at this time?
Can you show us how you would record or make a video thread?
Okay, so are you asking specifically about Voicethread?
Oh, yes, a voice thread. Sorry, yes.
Okay. All right. So I do an entire hour-long workshop on Voicethread, and I'm doing that on Thursday, but I can show you really quick because, you know, this is something that you gotta dive in and take a look and learn it a little bit. But I'm just going to open up my Voicethread work. Here it is. I'm going to open up this course. So Voicethread is located in your content, build content menu at the very bottom of this list. So from your course, you go to build content and you select Voicethread. Okay, the very first time you do that, you're gonna have to give it a name anytime. Let's just call this test 1 or whatever. And then I'm not going to enable evaluation at first because this changes the experience. So just leave it for no. I'm going to hit submit. When I do that, I have created a link at the bottom here. Okay, and when I click on that link, you'll see that it launches because it's integrated with Blackboard. And it takes me to this VoiceThread setup. I would recommend your very first time, just begin with going to individual VoiceThread. Okay, you're not going to have any of these. This is like my library of VoiceThreads, but you can create a new VoiceThread here. At this point, you're going to be presented with the first of what is essentially a two-step process. The first step is to add media, and the second step is to comment over media. So think about this as like a way to bring a normal face-to-face lecture that you would do when you walk into the classroom. You go to the computer, you put your flash drive in, you upload your beautiful PowerPoint slides, and then you begin having your lecture, back and forth with the students, and you go from slide to slide. Think of VoiceThread as a way to recreate that experience, but in an asynchronous online format. And when you do, you kind of get something that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to go back over here. Okay, this is a VoiceThread that I've created, and I've embedded it into this item. Remember, we embedded videos before. We can also do it with our VoiceThreads. It's a pretty slick way to do it. I'm going to make this bigger here, and I'm just going to show you. But you can see that all VoiceThread is, whether this was a PowerPoint slide, a PDF slide, or a picture or a video, whatever it is, I basically add the media and then I comment over it. If I click this plus sign here, you can see VoiceThread gives me all these awesome ways to comment. One is through text, telephone, microphone. This is the webcam video, and this is to upload something. But once I do that, a comment is generated. It goes over here on what they call the comment conversation channel, and whatever method I've chosen goes here. So this happens to be a video comment. Let's just go ahead and see if I click play.
Howdy, folks. Howdy, this is Ron. Yeah, how cool is this? So right now, I'm making a video comment using my laptop, the webcam. I also have this microphone here, so hopefully the audio is really crisp.
Okay, so what you saw there was basically myself, lecturing or speaking with my voice and my face over this slide. And the student would progress linearly, over each slide. They would hear the comments by either you or comments that students make, because students also have the ability to contribute to this if you so choose to let them do that. All right. So the possibilities are really endless here, and we're finding new ways of using VoiceThread every single day. But at the very minimum for you now, I would really recommend just, again, going to that build content, select VoiceThread. It might ask you to sign in or for the first time. And then once you get through that process, hit the individual VoiceThread and begin by just dragging and dropping a PowerPoint presentation and start lecturing over those slides. Okay. When you're done with that, you would end up sharing it with the course. There's a button that you click, and then it comes over here into this format here. All right. So if I click on this again, it launches. All right. And this happens to be an icebreaker activity. Welcome to class. I've made this slide in Google Slides, and when I was done creating it like this, I exported it as a PDF. And then when I created the VoiceThread, I simply dragged my PDF file onto that place where it said add media. Once it was in there, I went ahead and I clicked my comment button, and I chose what comments to make available. In this case, I just did text, mic, and video. But you can see it's a really fun activity, and it's a great way to start using VoiceThread. Start by doing this welcome to class. Do this icebreaker activity. Give them instructions. They click on it. They basically click the comment button. They select. They tell us their name, something they hope to gain from this course, and then they reply to some of their peers. And when they do that, you can see it's only me on this conversation channel, but if it was all of us, if this was someone else who made a comment, this person simply replied to them. So here's my comment here, and then here's the other comment underneath it. So this is kind of like a discussion board thread format. How is that for a quick overview of VoiceThread, Professor?
Yes, thank you. I'll look forward to your continued meeting on Thursday.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful tool.
Ron, I have a question.
Yes.
This is Sunny. And so my question is for the default homepage, right? What do you recommend is a good page? So like as soon as students go to Blackboard, click on your course, what do you think is the best thing for them to see first? Should it be announcements? What do you think is the most user-friendly, inviting homepage?
That's a great question. And it's hard to say there's not really a right or wrong answer to that, but I like to do it with the welcome and start here or the announcements tool.
Okay.
And a quick way that I build those in, I'm going to share again. Let's go back over to our course here. So here, automatically, the topmost content area would be the entry page. Now, let's say if I'm using announcements a lot, which is a wonderful way to communicate quickly and efficiently, and announcements is considered a tool in Blackboard. It's a tool. So if I wanted to add that, I would go to my add plus sign here and I would select tool link, and then I would call this announcements. Oh, I keep typing on my other keyboard, and every time I do that, I feel so stupid. Okay, announcements, and then I'm going to select from this achievements box, announcements. I'm going to make it available, and I'm going to hit submit. It throws it on the bottom, but I want it up here. Okay, so now I've created a tool link to announcements, and it will be the first thing that they see. So I don't have any announcements here, but if I did, I would create one, and then it would continue to build up here. So whatever you said last to them, they could just glance at a quick view.
How did you make it the first thing that they'll see?
So it automatically shows you the first content area if you don't change.
Okay.
But not always. So let me show you how you can customize that. So in your course management section here, okay, you have this tool, this option to customization.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's go to teaching style. I think it's in there. Okay, and you see this function here, this option here, entry point.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if I click this, it basically shows me my navigation panel, and I can choose which page I want them to come into the course.
Okay.
But you notice announcements is there because the default is the top.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, so that's a great way to do it. The welcome and start here for the online course is a wonderful way to do it. And I'm just going to show you an example really quick since you're talking about it. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this is a course from my dear friend, Professor Delia Ortega. She has been gracious enough to share this course with me to use in my workshops and to share with other people who are interested. But this is a QM certified course, Quality Matters. Very similar to QLT, Quality Learning and Teaching, which is a CSU-based rubric. But here you can see this is a nationally recognized course. It's super high quality. We have awesome results with it. Students love it. SOTIs are great. DWFIs have basically disappeared because it's so well designed. But she starts it with this clearly defined navigation panel. In her Welcome and Start Here section, she has a Start Here message. Here are her course learning objectives. Again, notice how cleanly formatted this is. Numbered lists, bulleted points. She's utilized the ATI resources, including the video production studio, to come in and make an introduction video. Okay, this is embedded into this item. You can see these captions here are captioned to the video, but these aren't just standard old captions. These are perfect. And they're perfect because the script has been run through our accessibility office. All right. And here's another link. It starts with the getting started. I know this is a lot for someone who's maybe never taught fully online, but I just want to show you the possibilities of what you can do in Blackboard and how you can become organized, whether it's a hybrid course like this, which is half and half, or fully online. But I think this is a great thing to shoot for as you start to build Blackboard experience and learn how to build more features.
Is her Blackboard course publicly available?
It is not, but she has told me and given me permission to share it with any faculty members who would like to access this in the observation.
Okay.
All right. So if you're interested in that, I can share this with you.
Great.
Additionally, one of our designers had created this page. It's an instructional continuity course template transfer. And it's basically the same kind of deal here, because in instructional design, we're very methodical and we do these things, but this is available to everybody now. And it basically, this can be copied into your own course or a sandbox. I can put it in there for you so you can begin to design a separate shell using this template.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a real rudimentary question before I lose you.
Okay.
Given assignment, doing lab reports and 100 students, how do they download, they read it, they fill it out, how do they resubmit it?
Okay. So tell me a lot more about the assignment.
It's a written assignment. It's got data sheets and they're doing a lab report. So let's say it's 4 pages that they need to fill out and resubmit. How do they do that?
Okay. So would their submission be in the form of a document?
Well, see, I don't care. I just got to be able to grade it.
Okay. All right. So let's go back into our content folders here and let's just call this, let's create a content folder and let's call this lab assignment. Okay. It's not spelled right. Is it?
It's close enough.
GN, yeah.
GN. All right. All right. Okay. So we created the content folder. Now we got to put our assignment in there. So I'm going to click in this content folder, and assignment is considered an assessment in Blackboard, and that's under this one.
Mhm.
I'm going to select assignment. What's this one called?
Lab report.
Lab report.
Yeah.
Okay. And here I can give specific instructions. I can do example papers here, whatever, rubric, whatever you want to do,
Right,
due dates. I got to give it the points. You know that. Submission details, you know, I can give them 2 attempts because they always say that their house got struck by lightning or whatever.
Well, this is not a quiz. It's just, I want to know how to get back like 100 reports from students having filled it out.
Yeah, so every student's
It's like an assignment. It's just an assignment.
It's just an assignment. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Dropbox and yeah, essentially.
Yeah. How do they get it back? How do they get it back to me?
How do they get it back to you?
Right. They fill it out.
Yeah, and then they have to upload it here. So the student would click on this, and then they would have to browse their computer and upload their file, and then that would be sent
Okay. So
directly.
where was that? Just go back. That's all I need. But how do I?
Oh, okay. So yeah, once you create the assignment, the student experience would be they would go to where the assignment lives. They would click on it.
I do it in assignment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you do an assignment, and then you give it a point total, and it will automatically go to your grade center because that's just how Blackboard works. And then the student would see this page. They would click on it, and this is where they're required to upload their lab report.
Okay.
All right. And do you also want to see how you grade that in your grade center, or are you familiar?
I don't even want to give them points right now. I just want to get them, and then I'll put it into Blackboard after I've graded.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I really just want them to be able to upload back to me their reports.
And then how did you want to grade them, though?
I was just going to do it and then enter it in Blackboard.
Okay, so that's a lot of work because if you grade it through your grade center, then you will be able to launch this nifty interface where you click on each student and then you're presented with their digital thing, and you can actually grade it there instead of, you know, printing it out or doing it one by one that way, you know.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the convenience of doing it as an assignment.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
We have a
Ron, is there a workshop on using the Blackboard Grade Center?
Yes, I believe there is. I believe there is.
Or like a recorded one or something?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I know a couple other designers dive deep into Grade Center.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely, it's a whole nother, it's like Grade Center is a beast all in its own, you know. But for this one, let's say I was just going to attach my file here. And then I was going to, I don't know, here's a microscope.
Can you back out? Go from the beginning? How you just?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let me cancel this.
Because like this is super important for me to be able to do.
All right, so I'm going to go in as a student. I'm going to hit the eye in the sky. I'm in student preview now, and I'm going to put my lab report in, and I know it's here. So I go to here. Here's my lab assignment. I click on that, and I'm going to click on this because I need to submit it. So I'm going to browse my computer because I saved my thing as a document. Why isn't it letting me do this? Oh, 1 second. My computer is choking. Oh, great.
Oh, no.
Come on, buddy. Don't fail me now.
Hmm.
I'm hesitant. If I lose this, then I'm going to lose you guys.
Yeah, I waited 56 minutes for this.
Oh, man. All right. Let's try something else. All right. Cool. I think we're back in business. I don't know how I pulled that one off. Can you see this again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to upload my lab report. Here's my document. I'm going to select that. And then the student hits submit. All right, now they have their submission receipt. I'm going to go ahead and exit the preview. But I want to show you what it would be like for you now. So now all your 100 students submitted their lab reports, and you go into your grade center right here. You go to your full grade center. And since that's an assignment, you can see that the lab report column has been automatically created. And I have this little needs grading icon. So I want to grade that directly from here. So if I click my arrow and I go to attempt, then here's that nifty interface that I was telling you about earlier. So Blackboard automatically pulls up the digital copy of my submission. See that? And then I can use these cool little toys to, annotate right here and add a comment, right? I can do that as many times as I need. Okay, and then I can give further feedback. Here's the grade box. If I give them a grade here, let's say I give them 10 points here. Here's individualized feedback that the student will receive directly from you. And when you're done, you simply hit submit and you go on to the next. So especially if you have a high volume of enrollments submitting these types of documents, can be a really convenient way for you or your grad assistants or TAs to grade. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I don't know if everyone else is, I might have to need you to run through that with me again.
Okay, real quick, let's do it. So after the student submits their,
They go into assignment.
yeah, they do it from the assignment, but you do it from your grade center.
Okay.
Okay, and you're going to know that something needs to be graded because it has this little exclamation point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have nightmares about this point. But anyway, you want to grade it. You go to this arrow here and you click on it and you view attempt. Again, you're in your grade center. You go to the column that has the little points and you click attempt. Now you're presented with this grading interface. Here's the student submission, the document, and here's where you enter the point value and any personalized feedback. Additionally, you can feedback in these ways. Here's a little annotation tool where you can make some hacked drawing of a, something there. But
we all have a sandbox that we can play with?
You don't, but if you want one, I can build you one.
That's so we can just play with all this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you have a sandbox when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I need a new one.
You got it. Yeah, send me an email and I'll try to remember. This is Professor Mink, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I've met you a couple of times.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything else I need to show you in the last couple seconds here? So a lot of people use discussion boards, right? And I would recommend that you build all of your discussion boards here and build them ahead of time if you can. And you can see, if you have a weekly discussion every single week, if you have a discussion every single week, go ahead and try to build them up and just keep it all organized. And it's a very smooth way to do it. Here's Professor Ortega's discussion space. I mean, check this thing out. She has an introduction forum, all of these instructions, module 1, module 2, module 3. But if you build it out this way, then when you're trying to put them in your content folders or your learning modules, you simply, you go to your tools and you select your discussion board and then you can pick from the list.